How to increase sales in a competitive market. If you're watching this video, you probably have a product that's already selling, but what you're selling into or trying to sell into is massively cutthroat, oversaturated, and frankly, razor thin margins. I'm gonna teach you in this video exactly how I move and act so that it's actually an advantage, not a disadvantage that there are other people selling. Let's dive in. All right, so if you're trying to increase sales inside of a competitive marketplace, this is obviously a good problem to have. It means you probably are selling, you just gotta boost the sales. Okay, this is recent. I was working with a big 9-figure client, I believe multi-$100 million company, and I sat down with the CEO and their decision makers, and they're like, hey, we gotta, this exact scenario, okay? This exact scenario. And they paid for my day fee to come in and sit down with them, and that's one of my favorite things to do. I sat down, I started working with them, and after listening to them for about, probably about an hour or 2 hours, we sat there and it was silent, and I realized they're trying to increase their sales in a competitive marketplace. And they're like, we need to get leads. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But really, you think you have a leads problem. That's not the real problem. The real problem is that you actually have a message and positioning problem. And if you're watching this, you're like, that's the purpose of this video. What I'm gonna teach you, if you're just trying to boost sales and your thing is selling, usually people think, well, I just need more leads. That's true, but usually what it comes down to is they don't actually have good messaging or positioning. And that's what I'm gonna show you in these next few principles. All right, I first want you to know that selling into a cutthroat, highly competitive market is actually a good thing. It's an advantage. Russell Brunson, in his latest version of Expert Secrets, asked me to write about this very principle. So you can read this full story in his book. I talk about markets and market selection. This is deeper than I normally make on a YouTube video, all right? But stick with me for a moment. Those of you guys who are business owners, I think you'll find this very, very valuable. Let's say that I have a fish business and that I live on an island, and I don't have lots of money or anything. I have to sell fish or my family doesn't eat that day. So I wake up, I come out of my hut, right? And I've got this big basket of fish. Where would I go to sell the fish? Where do I walk on the island? You would go where people are, right? But I have special fish. My fish are like no one else's fish. My fish are fish that no one has ever seen before. I have blue, new, prolific fish. Doesn't matter. You're still gonna get the best sales walking to where everyone already is, right? You're gonna go to the marketplace. The mistake is that people will go to, because they think red ocean, blue ocean. They walk to where no one is on the island because my fish are new fish. My product is a new product. No one's ever seen my product before. My product is something that no one has ever before tried to put together. And so because of that, they go to the blue ocean where nobody is. What's the problem with that? No one's there. That is the problem. And because no one's there, they don't make sales. But I need to make a blue ocean. I don't make blue oceans, right? I don't try to go and build new marketplaces. It's actually a longer road. So I'm telling you that if you're selling into a highly competitive, red, bloody, cutthroat, razor thin margin marketplace, it's actually an advantage. Why, Steve? Because human habits are the most expensive thing to change. So if you already have a place and everyone knows on that village, that island, everyone goes to that marketplace. Everyone already knows that's where you go to buy fish. That's where you go to buy and sell and trade and do your exchanging, right? It is crazy to think that I'm gonna make lots of money quickly. You can make a lot of money building a new marketplace. It takes a lot of time, effort, and energy. I'd rather not do that. So I'm trying to tell you, congrats, you're in a highly competitive market. And most think that's a disadvantage. 99% of those I speak with think it's a disadvantage. It is exactly the opposite. It is actually easier for you to go be new and blue and prolific in a red ocean than a place no one actually is at all. So first off, congrats. Now let's dive into how you actually increase sales there. All right, let's talk about how you increase these sales in a competitive marketplace. The easiest way to do that is to fix your positioning, as I was mentioning earlier. You gotta fix your positioning. You gotta fix your messaging. So here's how I do that. I was sitting down with, back to this most recent client. And we start sitting down and I ask a very key question, and I wanna ask it to you now as well. What is your dream customer being sold or taught that drives you nuts? You are vehemently against it. And it was cool because the CEO's eyes just lit up and they were like, I know exactly. Because he's thinking about his competitors. He's like, they're telling him this and they're telling him that. And I'm just sitting there on the whiteboard writing. I'm like, okay, this. What else? What else do you hate? What else is driving me crazy? What else do you know is underserving your clients? What products? Is there a company that's underserving your products? Is there a belief that they're being taught get some success that you know is not true? List. Then what I did, second part to this, is I go in and we sit together and we start looking at the ones that have the most pre-existing emotional charge. Now, before you start feeling weird on the inside, thinking that like, oh my gosh, this is some dark magic, black marketing kind of stuff, right? Like this is black hat marketing. It's not true at all, okay? Big boys are doing this to you all the time, okay? The big corporations. So what I do is we find things that have a pre-existing emotional charge and we build a campaign around that. We build a launch around that. We fix our messaging of the entire company around that. That's way easier to have success with when you tap into something that already has a pre-existing emotional charge. For example, a lot of my shirts are really aggressive, right? I have a capitalist pig shirt. Wait, why do I do that though? Because the war of capitalism versus socialism is a pre-existing, I didn't make that argument, I just took a stand on it. And I made it a logo and a banner and I stand on top of pre-existing emotional charge. What do you think happens to my sales? Dude, anyone who loves my stuff right out of the gate, they're like, snap judgment, love that guy, and you want the snap judgment, okay? You need your market to make decisions about what they feel about you faster. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to list the pre-existing emotional charge in a market, take a stand on it, and build your company around that noise way faster. This is in essence what I call aligning with noise. You can either create noise, which is like standing in an island on a place no one is, right? Or you can align with noise. Creating noise takes a long time. Aligning with some existing piece of noise that you actually truly feel passionate about, that's a great way to do it, all right? That's a great way to do it. So be careful with this, okay? Because if you go out, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna go take a stand on capitalism versus socialism, what do you think happens? You get a lot of lovers, you also get a lot of haters, and that's fine. Now you don't have to choose noise that's as large as I've chosen, but this is one of the easiest ways to boost sales in a competitive market. The products are there, it's stale. People are so competitive. It's loud. It's noisy. One of the easiest ways to separate yourself from the rest of the sellers, take a step out by instead of always leading the charge with a product, lead the charge with a social issue. Lead the charge with a piece of noise you agree with or disagree with. Lead the charge into, all right, this is a marketing war, all right? Lead that banner, lead that charge with the flag, whatever pre-existing emotionally charged thing there is. And it's crafty, right? There's some things you got to do for that. That's certainly not a course in the last 2 minutes here, but that's really what I do. I'm not a funnel builder. I am a noise maker, strategic noise builder. And I'm trying to teach you to do the exact same. Before I dive into this final piece, which actually starts to translate to money, please hit the like and the subscribe button. And I would like to know down below what noise you have aligned with. What are you fighting for or fighting against using your company as the fuel? Okay? Be kind, everyone. But what is that thing down below in the comments that you're fighting for and against? Me, I'm trying to buy saveasocialist.com so I can send kits to people. This could be awesome. Okay, I am vehemently against what is happening inside of the country right now, and I will fight it tooth and nail to my death. So I've had a few people who reach out, they'll be like, Steve, shut up about the capitalism. I'm like, no, get off my list. You're not a fit for my audience, okay? I'm really spicy about it. So same with you. Tell me down below, what is it that you're fighting for or against? What's the noise? What's the social issue that you're lining for or against? Be kind, be gentle. This is a marketing exercise, everyone. All right, guys, that second principle was to help you illustrate and orchestrate more noise, right? Noise, in essence, after a while, really means cash. So, right, have you heard like some of the biggest talk show hosts alive now are often followed by what they found, more people that hate them than love them. And it's just because they don't agree with them. So being noisy is not a bad thing, right? If you're a marketer, you're a noisemaker. And the sooner you can embrace that, probably the faster you're gonna make some more money. So anyway, okay, how do we increase sales though? How does this translate to sales? So we have noise, which translates to leads, which translates to sales, all right? Those are like the 3 stages. I need noise. That creates me more leads. Leads gets me more sales. So I'm not really talking about your sales machine. How do I increase sales? We're not talking about your pages. I'm not talking about your offers. I'm talking about everything before that. Okay. So now you found some spicy noise. All right. You found some spicy chinchilla noise there. Oh yeah, it's going to be great. But now we need to translate it into leads. This is a really easy thing to solve. Just increase the number of places they could put their information. That's literally as simple as that. If you're trying to get more people to opt into your stuff, opt into your pages, one of the easiest things to do is to just increase the places they could do this. I'll tell you the first time I realized this, I was broke. I was in college. It was about 6-7 years ago. I was biking home because I couldn't afford another car, and I was poor. And I was asking myself, Steve, why are you still broke? I'm really aggressive to myself in my head. I was like, why are you still broke? I was like, man, I was looking at other companies while I was biking. I was like, why are you still broke? Like, you're studying these other companies. You know exactly, biking by other businesses. I know what I do in that business. This broke kid on a bike, right? I know what I do with that company. I know, kind of silently judging him just a little bit. The broke kid, come on, that's stupid. Okay, but I asked myself, why am I still broke? And I realized really quickly that there wasn't even a place you could accidentally pay me online. I didn't have an offer up. There was no places you could put your information. Because there's no, Frank Kern, who's one of our industry leaders, has said that there's a direct correlation to the amount of money in your pocket to the amount of offers you make and pitch. That makes obvious sense. But if you're just trying to increase leads, now that you've attached yourself to some kind of noise, just increase the number of places that they could go and give you their information so that you can follow up and increase your sales. It is one of the easiest ways to boost. So we'll do that with a summit. We'll do that with swag. We'll do that with, tons of stuff. Small little free plus shipping book funnels. We'll do that with opting in for a video that teaches a really cool strategy. We're increasing the number of opt-in. And so one of the KPIs we track daily and weekly is how many people joined our list today and this week, okay? And I've watched as it'll spin around anywhere, usually 50 to 100. In the last little bit, because we've been doing more YouTube, thanks for watching, by the way, we've been going from 100, 200 to even up to 400 a day joining my list because we're creating noise. We have capture machines for the leads. What do you think we do with them next? We send those leads to our other products. So increase the number of places someone can give you the information. I got a free gift here for you. If you're trying to find out ways to increase your cart values, increase how much cash flow you get from the internet, and automate the cash flow that you have, I have a really cool presentation that will show you my favorite campaign strategies for those things. There's 3 specific campaigns that I use pretty much, if not quarterly, then probably once or twice a year, and they're my main revenue drivers. It's after doing all these campaign styles, there's really 3, there's not many of them, that are the most profitable for us. You'll see those for free at internetlaunchsecrets.com.